folks along the road, just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gathering along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races. We went to bleeding races.
Oh, it's back through Bartes!
1962 on a summer's afternoon, we took the bus from Bambras and she was heavy laden. Where we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to Bladen. Whoa, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gathering along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races.
Good evening, people. Welcome back to another video. John Sinclair TV back again, live up in Gateshead, and I've got two top Toon fans. I've got big up to Pete and Rolly.
How you doing, John?
Thank you guys for coming on, and you know, it's a Good Friday special, and everyone's saying that, oh, you should do a live stream on the Good Friday up in Newcastle, but here we are. So, guys, if you like the video, like what you see, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also, if you like the super chat, then super chat is in there, and if you'd like to become a member, it's just 99p. Before we go on to the preview, we're going to talk about the comments in the section. Big up to Chelsea OG. I'll check it later, mate, because I didn't realise that, mate, but I'm sure it's fabulous. Big up to Bobby. Hi to Clarky. Hi to Carlos. Hi to you. Big up to Eddie, John, and you too. Look, it's scary. I don't like this. Man United want third place back, but for real, big up, lad. It's an interesting top four race now. It's absolutely is, Eddie. It's a cracking top four race. And
all I can say, Eddie, is we're not going to give it you back.
It's like, absolutely. I'm sure Eddie can take it in good faith. And big up to the chat as well, my guy. Thank you. Big up to Leslie. Hi to Leslie. Hope you're having a happy Easter. Can we keep this one going? Of course, can, Leslie. And you know what? I hope you're having a good Easter too. Hi to Tony as well. On this Good Friday. Hi to you, mate. Hi to Truls from Norway. And I hope you're fine. And let's go to some more comments. Even to Maggie, Mike, and evening to you, mate. I hope you're absolutely good. And going to Arthur B. I believe keep this one going. As long as you concentrate for the whole game. In truth, it was so easy against a poor West Ham side. Players weren't mentally challenged. The thing is, Arthur, is individual errors which got us the win, in my opinion. And thank you, like sub button. Enjoy the show. Thank you, Jules, indeed. And hi to Jules as well, or happy bank holiday to you as well. Hi to Paul as well. Good evening to you, Paul. Hope you're okay. And not bad to Maggie as well. And everyone saying hi to everyone in the chat as well. Just keep them coming in, please. That'd be fantastic. And we're going to talk about sort of you, PD, right? Friday's game between Brentford and Newcastle. It used to be on the BCS, but they changed to GMX Stadium. It's going to be a tough game down there. I mean, Brentford's having another great season, still get European football, but Newcastle's on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be an easy game, this. The Brentford have been fantastic this season under Thomas Frank. They really, really have. So that's why it's going to make this game a little bit tougher. But you know what? I fancy us for another 3 points, just the way we're playing at the moment. No team looks forward to coming up against them now because of how we're playing against them. Man United, look how we took them apart at home. West Ham, okay, it was a little bit flattering, but we just capitalised on some horrendous West Ham defending and goalkeeping as well. So they're not going to look for Brentford are not going to look forward to coming up against Wayne away as well. But it's going to be slightly challenging, but I can't see why we can get another 3 points.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that, Pete, because we're just not scared of anyone at the minute, like just playing full of confidence. And we're playing some cracking football as well. We're defending properly. We're keeping the ball better. Bruno takes things along the way. ASM's back to his best. Jacob Murphy's great.
Absolutely, yes.
So,
totally agree. Absolutely. Bruno, as you mentioned, carries the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Murphy's been fantastic. ASM, we're now starting to see the ASM as what we should be seeing. as well. So it's just nice to see that, and hopefully we can keep that going.
Absolutely. And Roly, I mean, I know you've got plenty to say about our form in a minute, like another great win on Wednesday night against a very poor West Ham team. I mean, we ought to talk about Joelinton. I mean, this guy, he's an absolute beast. I mean, I tell you what, he's coming at the right time. And the only concern about him is getting too many bookings again. He got put the other night and he scored 2 great goals. And this guy, I mean, if Declan Rice is worth 100 mil, this guy's got to be worth the same.
Well, it's not for sale, so let's not be starting to put prices on him.
Okay, that's not his contract.
But basically, I mean, I think Wednesday was one of the best performances I've seen from Joelinton since he's been at the club. All the combative stuff was there, but he added the 2 goals. The way he he curved his run for the opener was superb. I mean, you look at it because he was so far ahead of the defence when the ball got to him. You think it's got to be offside. So no one was really surprised when the flag went up. But the moment they put the still on when the ball was played, you knew he was onside. He was onside by at least half a yard. And he didn't panic. He just took it round the keeper, slotted it into an empty net. His second goal was really good as well. Nice left foot shot. He was involved at that lovely back heel for the move of the match where Fabianski made a great save from Murphy. Yeah, he needs to try and sort of cut out some of the yellow cards.
Yeah.
But the difference now is if he does get suspended, we don't miss him. Because Willock will come in, or Longstaff will come in. And we won, when he was suspended last time, we won both games convincingly without him.
Sure.
So we're in a very good place when it comes to squad depth when everybody's fit. The problems comes when we still haven't got Miggy back yet. The problem comes if we have 3 or 4 big players out at the same time. We then don't have a bench.
Mm-hmm.
So this summer is about strengthening the squad. So if we do get players coming in that are projected to start, it just means that the players out from the first team go to the bench, and our bench becomes stronger. Our squad becomes stronger. But Eddie's in a really enviable position in that he's got 2 strikers that are bang on form.
Yeah.
2 wingers that are bang on form.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 4 midfielders that are bang on form.
Yeah.
And the defence is solid. So he's got a lot of difficult decisions to make. Does he start with Isak against Brentford after Wilson scored 2 goals? But as you say, Isak scored in the 25 minutes that he was on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, ASM, he started to put the 2 phases of his game together because he was doing the defensive work and he was a real threat going forward. And he's got out of the habit of trying to do it all himself because you see, there are a number of times in that game on Wednesday when you thought, oh, he's going to shoot.
Yeah. When
he laid on a sensible pass. I mean, when he got the back heel from Joelinton, you think he's going to... The old ASM would have had a shot and it probably got blocked. But the new ASM played a nicely weighted ball to Jacob Murphy, who hit it first time, a decent shot and a good save.
Yeah.
He's looking up to see where people are when he's got the ball in attacking areas now, which he didn't seem to do before. So he is getting back and doing defensive work. He's never going to be the greatest defender in the world, but the fact that he's getting back and he's an extra body for the attacker to get round in itself is something. So yeah, he's becoming a more complete player. I mean, it's always going to take time because he never used to come back, so he had to get that into his psyche. Plus, he has missed a lot of games for injury, which will probably hampered his development in that area. But he seems to be putting it all together now.
Yeah,
he's looking really good. It's not just he's put it all together. He's doing it consistently now. It's not just one game. Everyone used to say, "Oh, I had one good game and then 10 bad games." Well, he's had 3 really good games string together.
Yeah.
Was it 4 games? Well, yeah, 3 good games strung together, which is what we want to see. He's getting that consistency. So, yeah, I mean, we're in a really good position. As Eddie would say, we're in a good place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The team as a whole is playing well. Wednesday, especially in the first half, we're a bit sloppy with our passes. We got away with it with West Ham because they normally say sometimes we've got like Brentford. You say that when you look at the players, individual players, the sum of the total of the sum is greater than the actual worth of the individual players. With West Ham, it's the other way around. The sum of the players is less than the individual value of them because they're just all over the place. But that's their problem.
Exactly.
But the other thing, well, we got away with a few things. We created stuff by our press. It's the second game in a row where we scored a goal because of our press. The opener against Manchester United because of Isak's press that forced the throw-in, which led to the goal. Yeah. And Murphy's press in the first minute of the second half. I couldn't believe that because West Ham were pushing. You think, oh, they're going to come out fast in the second half to try and get level. Yeah. They give us the ball with 20 seconds on the clock to go 3-1 up and the game's dead. But that was all due to the press. And we're pressing we lost that when we had that bad run. We lost the press for a bit. And it's almost like they'd sort of run out of gas. The international break, they've revitalized and recharged, and they're back to pressing like they were in that October-November spell where we were absolutely panning teams. And I've been saying for a few weeks now that someone's going to get a hiding, and it just happened to be West Ham.
Exactly. Absolutely slaughtered them. They're not the first to get hammered for the season. Fulham away, we beat Brentford at home, Southampton away. God, can we go on? Statics, we got 2 Static. Hi to you, mate. Big Guna fan. I hope you're okay. And hi to Leslie and Jules as well. And let's go on to Umar Khan. Hi to Pete. Did Paul reply to you?
Nah, he hasn't replied yet.
Is that Paul Gallant?
No. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, I'll get you. Okay, big up to Paul. Hi, I like Anderson to start tomorrow, so the win in a 4-2 away win. Joelinton score 4. I like a confidence offer. This is going to be
I don't think you're going to make that change, but you never know. You never know. Eddie doesn't give stuff away anyway, so we only know the team when an hour before kickoff because everybody thought. I'm sure most people thought it would be on unchanged side. Maybe it would be dropped down to the bench because he had that little hamstring. But I don't think anyone saw Isak on the bench.
I know. Yeah, I'll tell you, I like to see. I think he's going to rotate tomorrow. I really think he's going to rotate the strikers between Wilson and Isak tomorrow. What do you think, Pete? Are they going to rotate those 2 tomorrow?
Yeah, I think Isak will come in. I think the Wilson change was just to give Isak just a bit of a rest a little bit so he wasn't going to tire out too much, considering this is 3 games in the space of 6 days. So I think Isak's going to be back in the lineup for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree because that Manchester United game, he covered every blade of grass in that one. He played 2 games during both the games for Sweden during the international break and run himself into the ground against Forest and Wolves. So I think there's give him a little bit of a rest. Well, didn't he take that goal well on Wednesday? I love the memes. So waiting, just watching it go in. But now we've got a potential superstar on our hands there. I mean, he's missed half the season for injury. Is it 12 games, 7 goals? His average is now over just over a goal a game on his strike rate. I think 75 because he only played half an hour. It now drops to a goal every something like 75 minutes. That's just outstanding. And the thing about it is he's just turned 23.
Yeah,
it's just going to get better.
I think you're right, Tom. Really, absolutely right. This guy is here for a long term as well, for investment as well. He loves Newcastle, and you can tell by his passion. So, got one big up Steve. Hi, Steve. Hope you okay, mate. Hit the subscribe button, please, Steve. If you can, that'd be brilliant. Thanks so much indeed. And pause chatting to Jules as well, and then agree, Steve and Jules chatting to Jules, and get some more fans as well. And I'll go with Alan as well. Hi to Alan. I agree with Pete's Newcastle win. We have too much for Brentford. I totally agree as well. Yeah, Pete, talk about ASM, right? I mean, I think he had a good game Wednesday as well. We watched the watch on together. He trapped that well. He's not like he's not the best defender in the world, but he just helped out. And that's the thing.
Well, that's it. Yes, the last 2 games, he's been fantastic. Man United, fantastic. The other night, fantastic as well. Just his skills on the ball, no one can seem to get the ball off him at the moment, at times as well. And he's started to prove people a little bit wrong now, because he's been in for criticism a lot about his end products being a bit off at times, which it still needs a bit of work on. But I thought, but the cross he put in for Wilson on his left foot of all places was perfection. And that's the ASM, what we should be seeing. And what we just want is consistency. That's all we ask.
I mean, the thing about his end product, he has 2 assists from the last 2 games, where he could have had 5 or 6 because he laid it on plate. There was a couple he laid on plates for Willock. I scored 1. There's for Longstaff. There were a couple in the game on Wednesday where he could have had assists with a little bit better, a better finish, or if Fabianski had one of his flappy moments, in the last 2 games he could have had 5 or 6 assists. He's got 2, but the end product's there now, and so is the tracking back. I say no one expects him to be going in there and making tackles like Botman or Shah, or because he's not a defender. But when he's down there defending, just means that the guy with the ball's got to think a little bit more what he's going to do, and he may just slow him down enough so that someone that can actually tackle and defend can get over to help out. So it's good that he's starting to do that on a consistent basis now. I mean, when you look at his positioning, you probably see him almost as much at the edge of his own box as he is at the edge of the opposition's box, which is good. It means that he's not neglecting his defensive work. It's near the opposition's box more, but compared to the beginning of the season, when he pretty much wasn't tracking back at all, he's becoming a complete player. If he gets the consistency, he can then become what we all knew he could, because he's got all the skills in the world. And I think they've been working on his decision making, and they've been working on his defensive duties, and he's put in the hard work, and it's starting to pay off now.
Yeah, absolutely. Complete player. Go for some comps as well. Got loads to go through before we talk about the tactics as well. The quality of the squad has to improve to compete in the Premier League, domestic cups, and European football. That's from Arthur. And Leslie's chatting to Arthur as well. Big up to Eddie as well. Wow, you guys both for choice with Isak and Wilson. Well, man, you struggle with their goals and a glass of Encom Martial. What a trade. Thanks, but
no more, right? Thanks, Eddie.
So nah, it's just what else can I say, man? Got on here from Steve. Hopefully another win, but a harder game against West Ham. That's from Steve. Thank you for that, Stephen. And I would like 6 new players, all capable of first team quality, and attacking left back is a must to bring the best out of ASM. Pete, we need an attacking left back next summer. I mean, Dan Burn, we love him. He's done fantastic for us, but do we need a specialised left back, or would you keep him at target?
I think we could do with someone else as well. David's not going to be the long term there. We know that. So we could do with another left back for target as well, because we should be moving Dummett on, and I think Lewis needs to be moved on as well. So
I think. So carry on, Pete. So I thought you finished.
No, I think we could do with another left back in the side.
I just want to go back to that comment saying that we need a stronger squad for Premier League Cups in Europe. We're going to get that because we're going to buy players in the summer. Now, maybe not all of them are to go straight into the first team, but if we buy 4 or 5 players, we've strengthened the squad by 5 because they're going to be 5 players that were maybe starting that are now on the bench, or we've got 5 better players that can be on the bench than, so we'll have 20 good players instead of 15 as we got at the moment. I mean, it's just brilliant to see on Wednesday that you make 3 substitutions at half time and the performance doesn't dip. Then you bring another couple more on and the performance doesn't dip. Almiron's still to come back. So we've got 4 or 5 players. So you've got Anderson, Gordon, one of Isak or Wilson, Miggy when he comes back, one of Joelinton, one of the midfielders. So you've got 5 quality outfield players. We'll get 5 more in the summer. So we then got 19 or 20 players that are capable of playing in the first team without diluting the quality of the team. So we'll be able to do. We'll have to rotate more next season because of having the European games, and we hope to get back to Wembley in one of the cups next year as well, or both. Well, let's be greedy. Let's go for both of them. But we do need that strength in depth, and we'll get that because we're not going to be selling the likes of Maxi or Murphy. Maxi may hold down a first team place next season if he carries on the way he's playing now. Then I think we're going to bring another wide player in. So we'll have 4 quality wide players, got 2 quality strikers, probably get another one. Maybe another couple of midfield. So to give us 5 or 6 quality midfielders, and I think we'll buy a left back who can challenge to start. So starting to get that strength in depth. I'm not sure that we'll let Lascelles go. I don't think they're pushing to let him go or pushing to move him on. But if we get what the club considers a good offer for him, I think they'll let him go. But it'll have to be what they want for him. I don't know what they price him at. I mean, this is to you, John, and Pete, and anyone in the chat. If someone offered 15 million for Lascelles, would you take it?
Yes.
Considering you've got to replace him?
Yes.
Yeah, we take 15.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would.
I probably would. Oh, Hull have just scored to take the lead.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, but I think in the region of 15 million is a reasonable price for the sales, but you still got to replace him in the squad with someone that's better. Now, with financial fair play, I think a lot of it will depend on how they feel that young lad Murphy, who we got last summer, he came on in the game in Saudi, how he's developed, whether he's developed enough to potentially be in the first team squad.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely well said again, Roly, as well. I want to go through the comments as well. We'll talk about Brentford as well. And it's only fair to speak about them as well. Please, comments coming in. Please hit the like button as well. Please, thank you very much indeed. I've got Matty Maxwell. Hi to you guys. I mentioned on Tony's show this morning, and Anthony Gordon didn't get enough praise for his tackle on Isak's goal. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's a cracking finish, and I like him.
Yeah, I mean, that was reminiscent to ASM's challenge and retrieval of the ball to get our equaliser against Bournemouth, because he got the ball, the challenge stopped it going out of play before he got the ball back to lay on the assist for Longstaff's shot. And we got the goal, but and I think that's one of the things that you see from this team is that they never give up. They keep going. I mean, you look at the cup final, though we got beaten, they kept on trying, they kept on having a go. They don't lie down. Don't lie down for anybody like we used to. This is just so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Big up to Wilkes, by the way. I'm absolutely fine. I hope you well, mate. I've got one from David as well. Isak Arguero. I won't go as far as that. Not go as far as that.
Oh, well, not yet. But
not yet. Not yet.
He could be. He's got the potential to be. I mean, when Aguero came, how old was Aguero when he went to Man City? 25, something like that.
He's very young at the time and all that.
He's young, but I don't think as young as Isak.
Yeah.
And he was going into a better team at the time. That we're getting to that stage where we're not far behind where Man City were when Aguero came. So time will tell, but there's I wouldn't poo-poo that analogy. It's like people say that he could become our Aguero, like Sven Botman could become our Vincent Kompany. It looks like he's well on the way. So,
yeah, true. Maxim Murphy's really shown it lately. Absolutely Wilkes. Rolly tears a boot. Love you, Rolly. I think he misses you. Big up, Carl. No fighting, no punch up to eat. Like he's gone for extra training, so he sees you next week. But there you go. And
we don't fight anymore because we're so good and playing so well. We don't fight anymore.
Exactly.
The only thing we disagreed on the last time he was on was a player rating, where I thought Kyle was a bit harsh, giving someone an 8 rather than a 9.
Yes, very true. Very true. Let's talk about Brentford. Aces Maverick, you have to accept that he's generous with great after some gears and all that. Let's talk about Brentford as well. Slightly.
I was just wanted to just make a comment on that last comment. Yeah, he's a Maverick, but he's becoming consistent. He's still got all the attacking flair of a Maverick, but he's become more of a team player because he's not trying to do it all on his own. I mean, if you remember, he got slated for last season when he said, he'd get more assists and stuff if he's playing with better players. And he got slated for that. But now he's got better players around him. He is playing better. I think I mean, his development has been hampered with that long layoff for injury, and then not being able to get back into the starting 11 because the team was playing so well. So, and as Eddie said, I think he's a player that needs a run of games before he gets back to his best, especially after hamstring injuries. You find that all the explosive players, the quick players, when they've had a hammy, it does take them a bit to get back to top form because they're worried it will go again. And they may be fit, but subconsciously they think, well, doesn't really stretch it out here because it might go again. So it does take them a bit of time to get their confidence back to actually do those long runs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can see his point as well. He's a Maverick as well. Let's talk about Brentford as well. I mean, under Thomas Frank, he's done a wonderful job at Brentford as well. Second season syndrome. I didn't know what to expect from Brentford. People say that could struggle this season, but when they got Ivan Toney up top, when they got their Silva in the team as well, they got some good players there as well.
Absolutely. I don't think Thomas Frank gets the credit he deserves a lot of the time. Look at the way he's done with that side. He's done fantastic with them. They've got an almighty chance for a top 10 finish here, Brentford. They really, really have. I think they will have to go in the market for a striker for the next season if Tony is going to get banned for his betting charges, which we don't know when that's going to take place yet. But I think Brentford have just been one of the most the teams that surprised a lot of people this season. The way they've been playing, the way they've put teams aside. Honestly, they've put 4 past Man United. They've beaten Liverpool.
Four past them as well, was it?
It was 3 past them.
Yeah.
The way they've blown some teams away, it's just been magnificent from them.
Yeah, they are a very good side. Somebody just scored from a penalty, which is dodgy. They're really sort of physical team. They've got some really good players. Like Boomer's I like him with Tony up front. I mean, they were class against Liverpool. They've got decent defence, not the greatest in the world, but it's enough. But I say having Tony up front, they've always got a chance of they got a hand to it as well. They're always in with a chance to upset the big boys. They're not a whipping. Nobody's whipping boys. I mean, everyone thought they would be last season, but they've got some really good players. A tidy team. It's going to be tough. They're very hard to beat at their home ground. When they came up to St James's Park, they had a little bit of misfortune with their first goal being disallowed, but then we just put them to the sword. The thing that they're going to be worried because if they're not on their game, where we are at the moment, again, they could be in for a thumping. We're in that sort of mood at the moment.
We are indeed. And you know what it is, right? I mean, I rate Thomas Frank as he's highly rated manager. He's turned down Tottenham as well. And he's so loyal to the football club as well. And the fans loves him, the board loves him. And he's done a terrific job as well at Brentford. He really is. And to hang on to Tony, last season, he's done really, really well. Okay, he's been in charge from betting rules as well. And Mbembo as well. I think that guy's a quality player. The guy's got the first score, which is ruled offside. And they're going to make it tough for us, Pete. They're going to make it real tough for us tomorrow. They really will.
Absolutely. It's just why we've got to be on our game. We've got to take it to them, and we've got to stop their threat as well. It'd be interesting who gets the first goal, I would say. But
it's going to be us because we're going to win 2-0.
Well,
I hope anyway.
But as I mentioned, I think we will have enough to win this game.
Yes, so do I. But they are a dangerous side. They've proved that this season. They are where they are on merit. This stage of the season, you're not where Brentford are by luck. You've done it. You've done it through grift and playing well and being a tough side to play against. So it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, they just lost their last game. We're on a really good streak, so its confidence will be high in our camp, and hopefully we get a quick start on them, get that press going early on, sort of panic them a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go on, Rolly.
Yeah, no, I'd finished.
Fair enough. when you speak, I'll just give him our shut. I'll tell you what, we had Macy last year. We had Macy last year, right? Macy, can be sure for the very first time. She's played for 25 minutes non-stop. I'm thinking, this could be another Ben Jacobs here. And I'm thinking, wow, but she's brilliant and she's still to the day. They'd be rested. We have seen the levels. Ivan's played the last few games. Also, Mike Mag said we got top fours going overdrive. And also got Jordy Dredd as well. Big up to you, mate. Good show, guys. You can squeeze a 1-2 win on Saturday. GD, could you please hit the subscribe button, please, mate? If you can, that'd be fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. It's the first time. Paul thinks 4-0. Big up to Paul as well. Could be dangerous for our defence with attacking left back ASM on the same side. Feel forward to come. Hopefully, don't want for the summer. Don't want to disrupt squad harmony. I can see exactly what Alan's coming from as well. And also come from Callum, Alex, and Sean and Bruno. So Paul, it's rocking the hard place. Paul is. The wages of players may have to increase, but we must reward outstanding players. That's a fair shout. That is a really fair shout as well. Home games, can be more attacking minded as well. That's from Paul. But another player I like as well, ROLYS Rico Henry from Brentford, attacking left back as well. I think he's a really good player. I do like him. I know a lot of people say he's not a big name, but you don't have to be a big name to be a great player. This guy.
You can become a big name. Not everybody starts off with a big name or at a fashionable club. I think we'll be looking for a left back. Obviously, we're with the guy that went to Forest? Was it Loddy? Brennan Loddy? He's there. He's there on loan. He's now got a year of Premier League football under his belt, and it's not been bad. So he's someone we revisit in the summer. My thinking on that is that we tend to go back for players if we don't get them in the first window. If we really want them, we go back again. You look at Botman, when we had 2 bites to get at him. I think we'll go in again for Diaby and Maddison in the summer.
Agree.
They're not, as I said, they're not afraid to walk away from deals and then come back to them later in the next window if it's a player that we really, really want. We will get, I'm sure we'll go for an attacking left back. There'll be a couple of midfielders. I think there'll be a winger. Maybe a striker. I think a lot of it again will depend on where we finish. If we finished in the Champions League, we'll probably do better shopping than if we finish in the Europa or the Europa Conference. I think they've got sort of like 3 shopping lists.
Yeah, I agree. I'll tell you what, though.
As I say, one thing that we know for sure. And it is official, is that we will be in the Premier League next season.
Yes. In the Premier League.
That's mathematical now, because Bournemouth and Everton, I think we're 26 points ahead of them, and they play. There's 27 points available. They both play each other on the last day of the season. So one of them's not going to win that game, which means that one of them will join Southampton and who else is in the bottom 3? There's Southampton and Leicester who can't catch us. So one of them won't be able to catch us, so we are mathematically safe. Not that we'd go down anyway, but we are actually officially mathematically safe. Oh, no.
Absolutely.
Mackems have just scored.
Oh, man. Oh, less the better than the better. Anyway, Matty Maggs. Will this young lad be sent on hard so Cool makes his way into the first team? For me personally, I think you need to go out on loan again, probably in the Dutch league or the Portuguese league to get some experience as well. For me, that's what I said. I think he should, because at the end of the day,
I'm just thinking he went to Scotland to get used to the physicality of British football. So I wouldn't be surprised if they send him somewhere in England, maybe the Championship or League One. That's not what that spell in was it League Two did for Elliot Anderson. But he needs to play more. But he's getting some game time, but he's on the bench. But then again, when he was in Australia, he was on the bench most of the time because he's only a kid. So what will happen is he'll come back in pre-season. Eddie will watch him, and he'll actually get some coaching from Eddie rather than these guys in Scotland. He's not been coached by Eddie yet.
Not yet.
He had a couple of training sessions, and then went up to Scotland. He'll come back with having a bit more experience playing in a better league than he was playing in Australia. Then he'll get the pre-season being coached by Eddie. Then when it comes to the end of the pre-season, they'll then decide whether we're going to send him out on loan again or keep him like they did with Elliot.
Yeah. And gain some value experience as well, and come back to us as a better player. So, and there's a Madu Anana, anyone? I tell you, I'd take him all day long. I think he's a decent player.
I wouldn't take him all day long, but I think he's good enough.
Good enough for us. 20 million for minimum for Lascelles. That's a Geordie Dread TV. I'll take it. I'll take 20 mil.
I'll take 20. I mean, I don't think they'd let him go for anything less than 15, or shouldn't let him go for anything less than 15 to 20. I think is around the right sort of area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Someone said on this other podcast, our midfield next season could be Bruno, Madison, and Bellingham. Pete, I tell you what, I can tell you right now, we're not getting Bellingham. He'll not be coming to Newcastle to Bellingham. I could safely say right now.
I don't think
he's going to Madrid.
Let me say Milan. They'll say Milan is definitely coming to us. all I can say, John, is don't bet £100 for the food bank on it.
I'll tell you what, I'll be happy to take on offers. I'll be happy to take on the bet that Bellingham's going to come to Newcastle in Aberdeen. If it did, I'd put £1,000 in, but we'll see. I said it live here. It's not going to Madrid. We can't compete in Madrid yet. Anyway,
well,
can you see it happening?
I'm not saying it will be. That could be a very expensive bet, and the food bank will be very grateful for you. And I'm sure Jamie Rubin won't like it because he doubles everything they get from the food bank donation. But then I don't think we'll get Bellingham. I don't think we'll be in for Bellingham, not because he's a good player. I just don't think that they believe they can get him at this point in time, and they're not going to waste their time on a player they don't believe they can get.
No.
Unless they signed him out and he's willing. But I think the biggest problem for us getting someone like Jude Bellingham now is that we're building a squad and he'll just cost too much. Because of the financial fair play, it would cost too much to pay 150 or whatever it would cost to get Bellingham. And that would just wreck our summer spending. Because we're going to have to pay in the region of 40 for Madison. We're going to have to pay in the region of 60 to 70 for Diaby. That's almost half the budget gone. And then we need to get at least another 2, maybe 3 players in. So you can't be spending 100 million plus on one player.
Yeah, I have to agree. We have to see what happens in the summer, but there'll be plenty of outgoings as well, which makes it easier for us as well to get some more players coming in. Lads, he's left back, I'd like to see in summer. You mentioned Renan Lodi. Pete, who would you go with?
Oh, I'm thinking of the one. I wouldn't mind the one from Stuttgart that we're being on about. I forgot his.
Yeah.
Kieran Tierney's another one. If he can stay fit, he's another one that would be welcomed if he can stay fit. Because he's not first choice at Arsenal anymore. And come and be first choice at our place. He's a good player. So I mean, there are 3 good ones out there. I mean, I don't know if there are many that are on free transfers as well, because that will help us. I think that's one of the reasons we're talking to Marcus Thuram. He's on a free,
free player.
Yeah, so you don't have and I think there are quite a few top quality players are on frees this summer.
Yeah,
so I'm sure that the club are looking at the free transfer market as well as the transfer ones.
Pete, you mentioned the name, the left back for Stuttgart, Spooner Sosa.
That's it.
Lad.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he playing for Croatia in the World Cup?
Yeah, he's in the squad in international as well. So not yet, Paul. This guy is so highly rated. He's one of the better players as well, because at the end of the day, I mean, Stuttgart at the bottom of the table. They were bottom of the tables in the Bundesliga, so they could be in big trouble. So if they go Toon, then it could be available as well. But I tell you what, it'll not come cheap, because I think they're one of the best players in one of the best left backs in the Bundesliga, playing for a poor side. So
yeah, I mean, it's the sort of thing that the Bundesliga isn't flush with money. So he's one of those players that will probably go for less than you'd think. If you're the bottom, unless you're Bayern Munich or Leverkusen, even Leverkusen aren't exactly overflowing with cash.
Really.
You can get some. I mean, once you take the big guns out, it's a bit like the French league, where everybody, their wages aren't as good as they are in England. And a lot of the clubs need the money. When you think how much we paid Lyon for Bruno, they wouldn't have wanted to let him go.
Yeah, and you know what it is? Go on.
But the price that we offered them with the add-ons was too good financially for them to turn down. So
Lyon's not an easy club to deal with if they're owner as well, the president as well. He's a tough negotiator as well. Look at Lacazette; they fleece Dortmund for a lot of money. By the way, let's be real. But I'm amused and surprised that they allowed Bruno to come to Newcastle, because they wanted something like 50-60 million quid because of financial dire straits. Then they took 35 million quid with 40 million on top. So they're doing really well.
I mean, when you look at the deals that we've done, we've been really smart with them. You could even say that with Chris Wood, because of what happened when he went to Forest. We got almost all our money back. He was someone we needed at the time because we needed a striker. No one would sell to us because they wanted us to go down. We needed one for that weekend, and we could get him. So we did. Then we sold it to Forest with, I think that the obligation to buy clause is that he had to take 14 breaths once he arrived at the City ground. And he had I mean, the amount of games he's played and he's already triggered the obligation to buy is crazy. But we've got really smart owners. They know how to do deals.
They're not stupid, are they? They're not daft at the moment, are they?
I mean, you look at every deal that they've done. They won't be pushed. They won't be bullied. They won't overpay. And if they do overpay, they'll recoup that money when they get rid of the player. I mean, I know Chris Wood got a lot of stick for his performances whilst he was at the club. and a lot of it was rightly so. But he did contribute to us staying up. Got a couple of important goals last season. He's got a couple of important goals this season, and we got, in a sense, £19 million back. It cost us £6 million. Bargain.
I know. We fleeced fast, didn't we? We fleeced them for £19 million. Big up to Newcastle and the owners as well. Paul asked the question: do you think going in any of the Napoli players in the summer, they're going to be tough to buy? I think Osimhen will stay. I mean, they're going to have to get rid of either Kvaratskhelia or Osimhen, right? I think if I were the two, I think they probably get the money off Osimhen, because there's no way they're going to let Kvaratskhelia go. There's absolutely no way. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Pete, you take Osimhen all day, wouldn't you?
Oh, he's just a lighted ball of a striker, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he just bangs in goals for the fun of it, doesn't he? Oh, imagine if we got to someone like him, would be fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cormac, think of the Cormac.
I think he's in that sort of Jude Bellingham range, and that he'd screw up all our budget for the summer, what we want to spend, and it's because of financial fair play is the problem. It's not that we can't afford the player; it's we've got to work within financial fair play. I think that, in some respects, is why it is such a big thing if we make Champions League, because then when it comes to our sponsorship deals, we can justify putting another nought on it, and that will. I mean, that's why they've got their list of players for if we qualify for the Champions League, if we qualify for the Europa, if we qualify for the conference, and God forbid we implode, we don't qualify for Europe at all. They've got the different lists, and that's based around the income that they know that they'll get in from the new sponsorships will be based on which competition we're in next season. If we go into the Champions League, which we've got a really good shot at, we'll go for a better quality player than if we're in the Europa League, which will be better than if we're in the Europa Conference. So,
yeah, give us Champions League, and I tell you what, I mean, Thursday, Sundays.
And for those people out there that say, "Oh, we're not ready for the Champions League," I say, "I'm sorry. If we qualify, we're ready." Right, I'm not saying we're going to win the Champions League.
Thank you, Roly. Thank you very much.
We're going to have a stronger squad because we're going to buy players in the summer. But if you qualify, you're good enough. You have to be ready, and we will be ready because that's what our owners do.
Absolutely.
They will make sure that we're ready. So it's going to be sort of enjoy the ride, because it's going to be a long one.
And did you see the video of the drunken man in London? Yeah, of our players that we're going to.
I've seen that.
I didn't see it. I was so.
No, I didn't see it either.
Thank you, Bush, for that. Appreciate that, mate, and thanks for joining in. Hi, Tyler Coffee. Hope you're okay. And also, Roly, we just got the 40-point mark some time ago. That's in Gary D.
Yeah, I know that's the 40-point mark is the theoretical safety mark. I'm talking about being mathematically safe. So if we lost all our remaining games, we can't go down. That's mathematically safe. 40 points, yeah. Everyone. I think there's only one season where a team has got over 40 points and been relegated. And that's the West Ham team that had the likes of Defoe, Lampard, Joe Cole, a few others in the team, and actually got relegated. I think they had 42 points. On average, you need about 37 to stay up. So we've been technically safe for 13 points, but we are actually mathematically safe now.
Yeah. Totally agree. I have to agree. Oh my God. I don't know. The comments have jumped so much miles, you know what I mean? But yeah, we're safe, so let's not worry about that. We're definitely safe, guys. So no panic as well. Let's fly through these. You'll come back with better understanding of British football. That's a cool. Win tomorrow and then beat Villa at home and then destroy Tottenham. I tell you what, Paul, if that happens, mate, I'll be over the moon. John should put a grand food bank Bellingham doesn't come. I said it come. We play tomorrow, 1892 play tomorrow. Look at Pedro. Pedro, on the Brentford game, I personally think if Eddie Howe doesn't make multiple changes to the team, then we'll lose due to tiredness and could possibly be injuries. For me,
I wouldn't
Pete, what do
say
you think
so.
of that one?
No, maybe a couple of areas, but we need to keep areas that are key.
If you remember in the run-up to the World Cup, we had a fixture as crowded as we have now, and we didn't make any changes during that period and still won all the games. I don't think we'll do. We've got more strength now, so I think that there will be changes, but only be one or two. It's not going to change the back four. He said that, so it's really going to be if he feels that anyone in midfield needs a rest, or Maxi or Murphy need a rest, or who he wants to play out of Isak or Wilson. It's not going to make loads of changes. It'll be one or two. He might go unchanged.
Yeah, indeed. Oh,
we'll
dear,
find
John,
out tomorrow.
Find out tomorrow. Yes, find out tomorrow. Oh dear, John, but your track record I start seeing. I could say, Leslie, he will not be coming to us. No way. He'll go to Madrid. And event to get sponsored, lawyers could appeal and could drag on forever. City could take 4 years plus. That's enough.
The thing with Everton is that they only get one appeal at it, the way they're doing it now, because it's an independent tribunal that's actually doing it rather than the Premier League or UEFA doing it. Everton should be a lot shorter because they're only looking at 1 year. They're looking at last season. They couldn't do it before because they've only just posted their actual accounts for the year. Even with the 170 they wrote off for COVID, they're still 100 million over the financial fair play.
Outrageous that.
Yeah.
And apparently Burnley are threatened to take the Premier League or threatened to sue the Premier League as well because of what happened last season as well.
But I think the only reason they couldn't do anything last season because they didn't have the full year accounts, which they only had to produce the other week because of the way that the tax years run here, which is probably why they couldn't do it then. But it just it'll make a mockery of financial fair play if they get away with it and don't get serious points deducted. Exactly. They can appeal and they can put another panel together, but I can't see them if they get found guilty, which from what I know, and I'm not an expert, they're a lot guilty as sin to me. And if you're only allowed to lose 105 over 3 years, and they've lost 370.
Oh, that's a lot of draw. That.
They've been allowed to write off 170 with COVID. That still puts them 95 million over what they're supposed to be.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, and it's not as if they didn't know that they weren't allowed to lose that much because everybody knows what the rules have been for ages.
Absolutely.
So they said, "Oh well, there's other things we could account it for." Well, that's not what you put in your accounts. So if there was other stuff that you could have deducted from that total, you should have done it before you posted your accounts.
Thank you, Rolly.
Oh, we can find another 50 million. Well, you're still 45 million over.
Yeah, exactly. They're in big trouble. Pete, you got to go off, haven't you, mate? Or
yeah, I'm gonna get this stuff ready for tonight's show in about half an hour's time.
I'll get all your food picks ready.
Listen, before you disappear, tell us your show got tonight and tell us where you can find you, please.
Yep, so my channel is PD Prologue. I've got the preview out for today, and my crazy show, PD's Football Live shows back coming on in just under half an hour's time. So feel free to check out and subscribe to my channel. It is PD Prologue. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at PD Prologue as well.
Pete, you're an absolute legend, and enjoy the show tonight. And jump on this channel for the food pick. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Pete,
There's gonna be double. There's
exactly.
double this time.
And don't mention Bellingham, eh? Go on, you crack on, my guy.
Catch you later, guys.
Catch you later, guys. Take care.
Take care.
That's Pete. Lovely guy he is. We go through the comments fly as well. In West Ham guard, dude, I see Paquetá joining us mid with Joe and Bruno. Would you take Paquetá at Newcastle United?
I don't think we want him. I think they looked at him and decided that Bruno is a better bet for the Premier League. So I really don't see that we're going to go for him. Obviously, I could be wrong, but I think West Ham will want too much money for him, and his wages are probably too high, and he's not been that great in the Premier League. I know he's playing in a poor side, but no, I wouldn't take him.
Fair enough.
It's got to be more than just Bruno's mate for us to want to buy him. He needs to be able to perform in the Premier League. He's had the best part of the season, and he's only flashed it. You look at Bruno, who's had, since he's come to the club, he's hardly had a bad game.
I think he's been absolutely fantastic, Bruno. Paquetá will get better as the months goes by, but we're West Ham this season. That's the thing.
Yeah, he may get better, but he's not convinced me that he's the player's more suited to what we want to do than him, in my opinion.
Absolutely. We fly through these comments as well. Please get the comment in. Our new players will be over 5 years at FFP. Everton and knackered anyway. New players, yeah, I've read that. And Leslie's chatting to Paul as well. And question for me: how many times has Newcastle been on TV this season? They've been on quite a lot, haven't they? Every single game.
I mean, it's been a lot because I think it was in October to November. We had all those games. I think every one was on TV in November to October, because they're trying to get for the World Cup. I think we had about 6 or 7 games that were live. We've had a lot. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the season if we end up having the most games out of any club.
I'm gonna have to agree. We'll be the most watched club as well, and well, it could be more. We could be the best watched. There you go. I'll projected to reach Champions League around 16 if our current squad. That's from I Like Coffee. I love his confidence. I do love his confidence. And always wait for the Champions League. If we win it, we could be involved in a 32-club team World Cup. It's fair shout. Rafinha is going to terrify Barca and Bayern next season. Okay, cool. What a game. Hull City, 4 each, I believe.
Oh, great, because it was 4-3 the last time I checked. And the Mackhams were winning 4-3, so I think they got sounds like from my feed that Hull got a last-minute penalty in stoppage time,
which is fantastic. I hope Sunday get beat regular basis. There you go. Eddie won't speak of Champions League, but our players are thinking of it. You've got to dream big as well, and that's 4 each, by the way, in that game.
I mean, that's smart management. You don't. By not talking about it to the press, you don't put the players under the pressure.
Exactly.
But they're thinking it. They're all thinking it, and they know that they can get there. I mean, you heard which game was it? It was one of the games recently where was it a Forest game? I think Kieran Trippier was interviewed and he said, "Yeah, we're thinking about the Champions League. We want to get there."
Absolutely. We got to raise the standards, really. Raise the standards. RTS.
You say raise the standards, but we're 3rd at the moment, playing excellent football. With the players we've got, there's not in this particular season with 10 games to go. You can't. There's not a lot that you look at the Manchester United game. How much better can we get than that? I don't know. Maybe that is our ceiling for this season, but maybe it's not. Maybe we can get another 10%. We won't know until we play the game. So it's not about raising standards, because they're always looking to do that, always looking to improve. It's maintaining, it's being consistent when you are playing at a high standard and making sure you keep getting those results. 10 more games we've got. 10 more games to the Champions League. It could be less than that depending on how the results go. So we've still got to play Tottenham. They come up to our place, we can give them a tonking because they are very shaky at the moment. They're either, I mean, I don't know if you saw the game against Everton early in the week, but
I did.
Shocking. They were shocking, especially when Everton went down to 10 men. They were shocking. You thought, oh, they're down to 10 men. They're just going to pass it about and just run them ragged and then pop the goals in when they wanted. And Everton looked more likely to score. I mean, they did score. They look more likely to win it, and Everton aren't a good side.
Exactly. I mean, poor teams, by the way, I'm not going to lie. But look, at the end of the day, the way how the game went down was like Sakbatiti. The guy's 6'2", and the good do like that. How man? Don't rate but Qatar.
I don't blame Kane for that. The guy said no business having his hands anywhere near his face. We don't know how hard he hit him. It didn't look that hard, but that's not the point. You go down like that, you make sure that the ref has no option but to send him off, because the ref may have seen him for, did he catch him? I'm not sure. You go down, you guarantee, you make sure that the ref makes the right decision, because some of the decisions that have been made, because what happens, what would people be saying that if the ref gave me a yellow card and VAR agreed with it or didn't change it because he's seen it, they didn't change it? Going down, no, it didn't have to go on the floor. Maybe just doubling up with your hands to your face would have been better. But it basically just emphasizes is put his hands in your face. You've got to give him a red card.
Exactly.
The time I have problems with people going down like that is when they've been hit in the chest or on the shoulder. The number of times where I think, what's it? That's on the World Cup. Oh, what's the guy's name? The Brazilian. Rivaldo got the ball, hit him on the knee, and went down clutching his face.
Yeah.
That's stupid. At least for Kane, he did actually get hit in the face.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it was. It probably wasn't that hard. Well, there would have been some force to him because they were both really pushing each other. But he caught him in the face. Maybe he's got a glass chin.
I tell you what, though, it wasn't exactly a Tyler Fury punch, was it, really? Let's be real. It wasn't.
Yeah, I know it wasn't, but hey, you don't know. We didn't actually feel it. I mean, the guy, Decore is not exactly a small lad. It's not like it's Dennis Wise or someone like that. He's a big lad.
He is.
But at the end of the day, he should never have had his hands anywhere near his face. So if he goes down clutching his face, I don't have too much of a problem with that. Because it did get hit in the face.
Yeah.
I think because he's a big lad, everyone said, oh, it's a wuss, he shouldn't go down rolling his face. But I just think it's making sure that he gets sent off, because he should have been. And Wade, some of the and as everybody knows, everyone's been complaining about how bad the refereeing's been this season. Just make sure that he gets sent off, because he should have been. Yeah. I don't have a particular problem. It's not the greatest. He probably could have just doubled over his head in his hands. I don't know if there were any marks or anything that you could see when he went down or when he came up. But he doesn't know what angle the ref was at when it happened. Or the linesman. He's just making sure Not the greatest, but I don't particularly blame him. The one person to blame is Decore. He shouldn't have had his hands in his face.
Exactly. And it's going to be 3 games. And also, it's those 3 games going to do with him. And if they lose the games, it's going to come down to him. So we'll see what Sean does about that.
Yeah, but I think that the problem, the whole issue is everyone's talking about Harry Kane when they should be talking what a numpty Decore is. It's not an issue about Harry Kane. The guy doesn't essentially slap him in the face. There's nothing to talk about. Harry Kane won't go down on the floor. And they would say, oh, Harry Kane, he's been terrible rolling on the floor like that. I was like, no, it's Decore is the problem, not Harry Kane.
True. You don't put your hands on the player. It's simple as that. Let's go on to under Paquetá's release clause and build a Toon to relegate West Ham, then get a cheap move to Newcastle.
I don't think he's coming to Newcastle. I don't think Paquetá's coming to Newcastle. So it's great that he's Bruno's mate, but buying someone's mate because he's Bruno's mate isn't a reason to buy him. Maybe he doesn't. They've looked at him and he doesn't fit into what we want to do. It's not the right style. Maybe he hasn't got the right temperament. Wants too much money. Lots of reasons why we didn't go for him. Because when you look at all the clubs that could have got in for him, the only one that did was West Ham.
Yeah,
you'd have thought that if he's as good as everyone seems to be making out, more than West Ham would have gone in for him.
Exactly. He paid 50 mil for the guy, but I think they start the season West Ham, to be fair. Break the bank for Rice. Bruno Rice, don't prefer can win the title in our current squad. That's in Decky Rice.
Well, that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. That would be a really good midfield with Rice and Bruno. But can we? Does he want to come up north? Is the main question. And we still need to strengthen out our squad. How much would it cost to get him from West Ham?
Well, he's got 1 year left on his contract after this one, so they probably
he's going at the end of the season, whatever happens.
Exactly, no matter what.
If they get relegated,
it's bye to him.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about what happens to the price. Does it go down because everyone knows they've got to shift him because they can't afford to have him on their wage bill in the Championship, and they'll need the money to reinvest to try and get up at first time of asking. So
exactly. Agree.
Yeah, I mean that would be good to have Rice because he is an excellent player.
He is. And let's go for the comments as well before we get the predictions as well. The end for the Macros is pure good. Wow, I didn't see it, Ryan. So please subscribe.
Penalty at the end of stoppage time, literally the last kick of the game.
Beautiful. Tier trusting members to our fan base, sponsors, and take note of that, and players to see work flags. And that says fantastic, great advert for Newcastle. Take care to you, Stephen, mate. Thank you for joining, mate. You have a good weekend, mate. Because they're not good enough, but Rice will still be a solid addition. And that's from Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. It's ironic, almost Everton to Doon, but they're playing Man U tomorrow, lads. That's in Gary D. We'd rather they beat Man U, Gary. I think Eddie knows who he wants to sign in the summer, and hopefully one of them is Alvarez or Corney, sorry. Our Edson first or Corney for Mönchengladbach. Rossen just followed the floor running around like a dafty. Teams are starting to single down Burn out for special treatment. Burn has 0 pace. It's that 7 minutes on Harry Kane. Rice would be a dream. That's a mighty. In your opinion, Rolly, don't want him just because of Bruno's mate. That's for Qatar.
In your opinion, no, it's not. But it's not just because he's Bruno's mate. The club obviously don't want him because they had a chance to sign him in the summer. I'm just saying that you don't sign one just because he's Bruno's mate. You look at what he'd give to the club and what they plan to do with him. They've obviously looked at him and decided they didn't want him. Because the club didn't want him, you don't just sign him because he's Bruno's mate. I'm not saying that he's not a good player. And I don't want him to sign because he's Bruno's mate. I don't want the club to sign him because they obviously don't want him. If the club wanted him, yeah. If the club decide in the summer they want him, yeah, go get him. But last summer they had the chance to sign him and decided not to.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. You know, we've trusted all that, right? They know exactly what he's doing. You know, whoever the big is, I trust them. If they get players from Italy, right, I don't do good enough. But thanks for the backup. But I made a decision. So there you go. And if Borough Burnley beats tonight, they'll be promoted. Thank you, Davey, from Bladen. Not Bedrock, Bladen. I still want the Ivy lads. I think it'll be fantastic.
Me too.
The guy at Everton will do a good job as Rice Aston on Nana talking about cheap and brilliant. Alex Grimaldo, he's a decent player. I like him. On Turam as well. Onana, yeah, that's Aaron. Chelsea signed Declan, and
it's going to be interesting because will Declan go to Chelsea if they don't qualify for Europe?
Exactly. I mean, they're not going to be Champions League. There's no way. He's not going to be Champions League at all whatsoever. So
the only way that Chelsea will make Champions League is if they win it this year, and they're going to get knocked out by Real Madrid.
Yeah, exactly. And the one thing is, if the worst case scenario is if they win the Champions League, that's a big if, and we finish fourth, we don't qualify if Man U finish third. That is the big problem. So there you go. And let's go on to the nice go to Arsenal. And I was born in West End, Hampstead. Yes, moved to Bladen at 4. David, I do apologise. I live in Benwell, but at the end of the day, now it's from Bladen. Thank you very much, and thank you for Leslie for pointing that out to us. And I hope you're okay, David, having a fantastic weekend. Right, prediction time. What do you think the score is going to be? Brentford against Newcastle at Brentford, and are we going to get 5 wins straight?
We're going to get 5 wins straight. I'm going to be a bit more conservative than I was at the start of the show. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. 2-1 win.
2-1 to win to Newcastle United. I'm going to say we're going to win the game, but it's going to be tough. And I don't think it's going to be a walkover. I'm going to say 2-1 to Newcastle. I think Brentford will score, but I think we're going to do the job as well. And yes, you do qualify, John. I don't think 5 teams can qualify for the Champions League. I really don't.
I'm not sure.
I need to look in that, but I'm pretty sure if we finish 4th, right, and Chelsea win the Champions League, then they will go through and we're always going to miss out. But I'll double check that, Clarky, mate. I'm not saying I disbelieve you, but we can check out, mate. Went to the same school, yeah, and how much would rights cost? About 70 to 80 million quid. 2-1 to the Toon, 2-1 to Newcastle, and let's get his scores finding in. Ignore Steve, that's me. Trips and Grimaldo both in the current top 5 in Europe. I tell you, we can get Grimaldo. That'd be fantastic. I reckon we'll beat Brentford and draw at Villa. I'd take that result all day long. 2-4.
I think we can beat Villa as well. I've seen Villa the last few games, and there's not been all that. They've won the games. I mean, they've played a pretty poor Chelsea side, or Chelsea side that's performing poorly. What the 2 chances they had in the whole game? They weren't that good.
But if we defend properly, we win the game.
Yeah.
Exactly. So 2-1, I say 2-1 as well. And right, that's it then. I mean, we're going to wrap up the show. And thanks for coming on. Thank you for Pete as well for coming on as well. And what you got plans for the weekend, Roly?
Well, we're getting ready. This Monday's my mum's 90th birthday.
Happy birthday.
So we'll do the normal Easter roast around at my mum's on Sunday, and then obviously we're watching the game tomorrow, and then on Monday we've got a party for my mum for her 90th birthday. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice one. Happy 90th birthday as well to your lovely mum as well. And where can we also find you on your socials, mate?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Poles67. It says down there.
And thank you. Great stuff. Thank you so much indeed. And I appreciate that as well for joining as well. And you can find us on those socials as well. The links are down there as well. Excuse me. I hope to be back tomorrow for the Rats Reaction show. I'm going to debate that as well. I know you're going on another channel as well, are you? Tony's channel, Pete's channel tomorrow. I think, I don't know what's going on, but I'll find you.
I'm not sure what's happening tomorrow yet, but probably be on
Let
Tony.
me know on that one.
If Tony's doing a show, if Tony's doing a show, I'll be on his tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Got some messages of happy 90th as well. Definitely 5 teams. I'll check. Thank you for coming. Wayne, happy birthday to ROLYS mum. Great show, lads. Happy birthday to ROLYS. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you for Leslie. Share as well. Thank you. And great band. John North, see you all soon. That's an Alan. Thank you, Alan. So I can read all the comments tonight, by the way. I thought 6 can qualify Man U in Europa. No, can't have 6. No way. That's impossible.
I think his thinking is that if you get the 4 teams qualifying, if Manchester United win the Europa Conference, they'd qualify. And then if Chelsea win the Champions League, they'd qualify. That mean that Tottenham would have to finish in the top 4 with us for us to potentially have 6 in. But Tottenham won't finish in the top 4.
Absolutely.
That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
Thank you, Roly. Thank you very much indeed. Right then, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching us. And if you like the video, like what you see, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Also, if you like super chat, it's still open. And to come remember, it's just 99p. And she'll be back either tomorrow or Sunday. I think I'm on Pizza's watching on tomorrow to watch us for that. Yes, Roly, but no, it can't happen. But thanks so much for coming. I'll really quickly backstage. And until then, guys, it's goodbye. And whatever you decide to do, have a fantastic Easter.